Wouldn't it be nice to have several thought leaders in your industry know and love your brand? Start a podcast. Invite your industry's thought leaders to be guests on your show and start reaping the benefits of having a network full of industry influencers. Learn more at sweetfishmedia.com.
You're listening to B2B Growth, a daily podcast for B2B leaders. We've interviewed names you've probably heard before, like Gary Vaynerchuk and Simon Sinek, but you've probably never heard from the majority of our guests. That's because the bulk of our interviews aren't with professional speakers and authors. Most of our guests are in the trenches leading sales and marketing teams. They're implementing strategy. They're experimenting with tactics. They're building the fastest growing B2B companies in the world. My name is James Carberry. I'm the founder of Sweetfish Media, a podcast agency for B2B brands, and I'm also one of the co-hosts of this show. When we're not interviewing sales and marketing leaders, you'll hear stories from behind the scenes of our own business. We'll share the ups and downs of our journey as we attempt to take over the world. Just kidding. Well, maybe. Let's get into the show.
Welcome back to the B2B Growth Show. I am your host for today's episode, Logan Lyles. I'm the Director of Partnerships here at Sweetfish Media. I am joined today by John Fairclough. He is the CEO of Resicom. John, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Logan. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks so much for coming on the show, John. I would love for you to share, at the top of the interview here, just a little bit about what you and the team at Resicom are up to kick us off today.
Okay, great. Thank you. So Resicom's been my life's masterpiece. I started the company 20 years ago and just found a way to provide service to people that I'm in the construction and facilities world, and it's an old industry that was ripe for all kinds of innovation, and we've been able to bring that forth over the last 20 years, and we've grown a local facilities company into an international provider of construction services. So we're really happy with how we've grown and where we've taken the business. And just for me, it's been a great journey because I've been able to learn so much about myself and then advance my skill set to where I became much stronger in a lot of different situations. So how to sell for multi-million-dollar contracts, how to present the company and all of that. So there's been a lot of great personal growth that's come from it. And the offshoot of that has been that we've started multiple other companies that are unrelated that have found success as well. So we have a group of companies, all that are growing, and almost all are in the B2B world. So we're really proud of how far we've come.
Yeah, we love hearing great stories of phenomenal growth. And it sounds like, both for Resicom and, the other companies in your portfolio, John, you guys have been able to do that. And I'm sure you've learned, as you alluded to there, some great lessons in sales, in marketing, in leadership. So I'm really excited to kind of have you pull from all of that experience today and share a little bit about the talent strategy, whether you're, leading a sales or marketing team or a portfolio of businesses, getting the right people in the right seats is so crucial to success. And, if you're going to get the right people in the right seats, it all starts with that hiring process. So I would love for you to share a little bit of your experience and some of the strategies you guys employ, from the get-go as you're looking to find the right people and continue to grow your businesses.
Well, thank you for that. The primary piece is to really understand what you're looking for. And I believe it all comes back to the core values, even though that might be, I know that there's a lot of eyebrows getting raised when you say that, especially from operational people, because they're all about getting the work done. But the truth of the matter is that we count on one another to execute something, and we want the right decisions to be made in the moment. And the consistent piece that we're looking for really might not be the steps taken, but rather the spirit behind the decisions. And as we've been growing the business, that's been something that's really become crystal clear, is that having the core values at the foundation is what's most critical. If you want the same spirit of the decisions, the decisions to be made in the same spirit. And it's really just a major thing to keep in mind, because there's the idea that I'll teach you the step-by-step process, but so many situations arise that go against where the process won't necessarily work, and the people need to know how to think about it. So I would say that the starting point is to know what you're looking for and have that centered on the core values. From there, it's what are the skills that are required and making sure that that's what you're hiring to. So if you've got the core values, it's like you've got the right person. Now it's a matter of finding what's the right seat for them, and that's where it comes down to skills and other pieces. There's something we really base it on. It's really do they get it? Do they want it? And do they have the capacity for it? And that's something that we borrowed from the book called Traction, which was written by Gino Wickman. But we really subscribe to that. People need to get it, want it, and have the capacity for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I love what you touch on there, John, of, basically hiring for cultural fit first, looking at those values and do they get it the way that you get it, and there's alignment there, and then finding the right seat for them as far as the skill set and experience and everything like that. As you've onboarded, numbers of employees in multiple businesses over the years, tell us a little bit about what you think is most crucial during that onboarding process. As you've determined someone's a cultural fit, you've hired them on, but obviously there's a period of acclimating them to the culture, to the new position, to make sure that there is a match, because you can only tell so much through the hiring process. Would love for you to dig into a few lessons that you've learned there and advice you have for folks.
Sure. So Resicom completes about 3,000 projects a month. And so, and we do that throughout the U.S. and Canada. And we've got 50 project managers that are just office-based, separate from the people that are out in teams and all over doing stuff. And so you can imagine that consistency is a challenge, right? How do we make sure, or that would be a major challenge. But we definitely would not be able to grow the business without delivering consistency. So it comes down to creating a process that would work. And for onboarding, we've done countless things wrong, right? We put people in, hey, let's see if they sink or swim. There was that methodology. And then, let's spend 2 months training them before we even have them look at a project and put them in there. That doesn't work. And then we had another one that was a couple people were really advocating for, which was give them a bunch of really easy things to do and let them do that for an extended period of time, and then bring them in slowly into the work. Well, that's a disaster as well. What really works for us is to have somebody that really cares about that person's success right there next to them, to personally accompany them on their journey. And so getting the right person in the right seat really comes down to having a manager that really cares about the person that they're managing. So if you don't care about the person, you don't see the good in them, you don't want them to advance, and you're not there, you're not going to be there to cheer them on, you've disqualified yourself from being able to manage that person. So it's I know it's a little bit different kind of a method, but for us, the only way that we've been able to service our clients so well through all these years, and I mean, our clients are the world's most recognizable brands. In order for us to do this, it really comes down to having a person there that wants to see you succeed, who's there to help you along the way. So, of course, we develop processes that are easy to follow, but the best thing has been to teach through the work, not teach outside the work. So when they first hired, we go through an in-depth dive on the core values and their application within the business, and giving them real examples as to how that core value lives out in a project. And so one of our core values is honor the promise. Well, everybody's promise is to make us a stronger company, a better company. That's the promise that someone makes when they join our team. That's the expectation I have. I only hire people that I think are going to make us better. So how do we help them understand that from our client's point of view, and kind of teaching that through? So the process on how to do the work is integrated into the core values of the company, and giving them work to work on within the first week, that they're actually working on something meaningful, shows them that we're a company that's here to perform well. We're not here to carry people. We're here to perform well, to support you through it, and that you matter. And we're going to go out there and make a difference.
Today's growth story revolves around search engine marketing. Delphix, a big data platform, had hired an agency to manage their Google ads a few years ago, but they weren't seeing the results they wanted to see. Being such a technical B2B solution, they set out to find a team that could take on their challenge. After countless proposals, they found the perfect fit: Directive Consulting, the B2B search marketing agency. In just 1 week after launching Directive's campaigns, Delphix saw their lead volume double and their cost per lead drop by 60%. I have a hunch that Directive can get these kind of results for you too. So head over to directiveconsulting.com and request a totally free custom proposal. That's directiveconsulting.com. All right, let's get back to this interview.
I can definitely see how that strikes a better balance than the sink or swim mentality, or the let's spoon feed them for a while, or not even spoon feed them. Let's silo them in training and let's train them through the work, but with someone alongside that shows that they care personally. And I know one of the things you mentioned, John, that you guys have tried to implement, on this idea of caring personally, is where you can incorporate personal development into the work, specifically, as you're trying to tackle company initiatives, as you get, someone through this onboarding phase. Tell us a little bit about, how you guys approach that. I know you mentioned before kind of changing the mentality from tasks to opportunities.
Okay, great. So I'm going to take one that's a current one that we have. And so one of the things that we do is we build a career development plan. And it's much simpler than it sounds. It's basically, what is a person's, what projects, special projects or initiatives can we put someone on to develop their skill set? And so right now there's a young woman in the company that I'm working with who's just a phenomenal talent. I think that she's a rising star in the company. And one of the areas that she works on involves vendors. And so we want to overhaul our vendor management approach. We just want to tighten up a bunch of things and reintroduce some pieces that we used to do, and just really make it much more cohesive. And it's been a little fragmented for my liking. So though that's an initiative that needs to get done for the company, I want to surround that instead of making it a task or something that we need to do in terms of that's another thing on someone's plate, is looking at this young lady and saying, hey, here's an opportunity for you to make a meaningful impact to the company. We can advance our vendor relations significantly, and I'd like to have you do that. And I'm here to help you build the tools and provide you the training for you to be effective with it. Now, this person, so part of it has to do with getting more of our vendors on ACH, getting more vendors to take early payment discounts. We pay our bills really quickly. So it's a meaningful number when you spend as much money as we do with vendors to get 1 or 2 or 3% discount. So there's a financial impact there. But also having more vendors view us as their favorite client, that helps us operationally. So there's all these things that kind of tie into it. Well, my focus with her is, hey, you have to pitch this to the leadership team. So I'd like to help you learn how to tell a story. I'd like to work with you on developing a more refined definition of success for the vendor management overhaul to take in the different points of view. So for us, we have sales, marketing, service, capacity, and accounting. Those are the different areas within our business. How do each of those impact vendor management and getting those points of view to be represented? Taking her through this journey of how to build that helps her be a better presenter, be a better part of the company. It gives me the opportunity to work on some of the things that maybe she needs some refinement on. And it just kind of opens up all kinds of opportunities. So it is an opportunity. It's not a task that we need to do. I'm going to develop this woman who's got incredible talent through the work that we have. And she's going to, at the end of the 90 days, she will see the difference that she's made, and she will be able to quantify the training that she's received.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's just great advice there, John. And I can see how, that it carried out in that example, because as you develop, each person individually and help them hone their skills, it's an opportunity for them to personally develop, and obviously, an opportunity for the company, not in just getting the initial task done that you're working on, but getting that task done, more efficiently or, better in some way. But it's also, as you're improving this individual's skills, setting her up to be an even bigger contributor to ongoing company growth. So I love what you've shared here, from hiring to onboarding to personal development throughout your talent strategy. John, this has been a great conversation. If anybody listening to this would like to follow up with you, learn more about what Resicom is doing, or just stay connected with you in any way, what's the best way for them to reach out and go about doing that?
Well, they can email me at john@johnfairclough.com. That's John, JohnFairclough.com. Or they can friend me on LinkedIn and initiate a conversation.
Awesome. Well, John, I really appreciate your thoughts today, and thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Digital marketing agencies have a tough job. You have to stay on top of the latest marketing strategies for your clients and your agency. What if there was a way you could address both at the same time? Imagine your agency putting out content with greater quality and quantity. Envision bringing your clients a turnkey solution for one of B2B marketing's fastest growing media strategies, podcasting. All those clients asking for your help with their account-based marketing efforts? Picture being the first to bring them the idea of content-based networking, showing them the proven strategy for breaking into their most coveted accounts. Here's the concept. Sweetfish Media is looking to work with a limited number of innovative agencies interested in a new partnership model. We produce a podcast for your agency at no cost. You introduce the power of podcasting and Sweetfish services to your clients. Everybody wins. Learn more at sweetfishpartners.com.